Today you guys are going to help me determine if I should spend 120 grand on this one project. So we're going to go from my really nice air-conditioned YouTube studio to my dark, humid, and somewhat roach-infested garage. So right here is my house, and across the way from the house is the detached garage, which I'm currently standing in. It comes at the end of a pretty long driveway. So my house is a 2-bed, 2-bath house. It's roughly 1,100 square feet. And I also have this about 400 square foot garage that I'm currently standing in. And the plan is to potentially take this big, dirty garage and turn it into a really nice luxury apartment that I could rent out. So just giving a tour of the garage, you can see it's very clean. I have some of my tools here because I've done some bathroom renovations and other things. This is actually the old tub from the bathroom, but the junk removal person wouldn't take it for whatever reason, so it's still been sitting here. And the old owners, nicely enough, left me a bunch of junk. Even though I asked them to get rid of it, they didn't. And I closed remotely, so I wasn't able to see some of this stuff. So I guess my own fault, but definitely kind of sucked. So there's a lot of crap just going on in this garage, although this bike is mine, some extra sheets of drywall and cement board from some of the work I've been doing, as well as some other wood and whatever, ladders, fire pit, bike, general tools and stuff. But this garage really doesn't get used very much. And so I don't really even like being in here. It's kind of gross, kind of disgusting. I do keep my weights in here, so I'm usually in here in the morning when I'm going to work out and grab some stuff, but I usually try to get in and out pretty quickly because in the summer it's usually really humid and disgusting, and I just don't like being in here. But there is a lot of good potential for turning this place into a nice apartment because the city of Durham really likes adding housing, and what this would be called would be an ADU, or an additional dwelling unit. So the reason why the city of Durham really likes adding housing is because more and more people are moving here. More people are moving to North Carolina in the south, and the Raleigh-Durham, or Triangle area as it's called, is gaining a lot of traction because there's a lot of tech in this area. There's a lot of really great universities, so a lot of people move here because there's a lot of smart people, a lot of opportunity, and a lot of things going on. And it's less expensive than some of those major cities like New York, wherever else, LA, those kind of places. So there are traditionally not that many houses here because not that many people have lived here, but now more people are wanting to live here, so home prices are going up. So the city has allowed for things like this additional dwelling unit to create more housing. And I'm going to show some pictures on the screen, seeing a lot of these in my neighborhood. People essentially take these detached garages and turn them into apartments. And some other things that people do is they'll tear down houses. There's an empty lot pretty close to me where they're planning on building, I think it's like 5 or 6 houses, and it used to be just one large house. And then they're also planning on doing the same thing in a bunch of other sites. So they build these small lot houses. They're like 1,300 square foot houses that are 3-bed, 3-baths, and people end up just buying them and really liking them. And they buy them for a lot of money, or people rent them out for a lot of money. So I don't really know if it's solving any affordability issues, but it could potentially be a very good play if you're investing and wanting to build equity and create some monthly cash flow. So with my garage here, the city would allow me to build an 800 square foot structure, even though this is currently a 400 square foot building, and my house is only, I think it's 1,050, 1,100 square feet. So it could be almost the size of the main house, which would be pretty crazy. You could probably fit a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment in that size if you're going up to 800 square feet. But I would probably stick it around a 1 bedroom, maybe 550, 600 square feet if I were doing anything. And even though I like DIY, I would not be doing any of this work. So that's where that $100,000 to $120,000 price tag comes in, because the builder who came by and said they could do it quoted roughly a $200 per square foot cost to actually get this thing up and running. Now, as I've mentioned, this thing's pretty gross, and something that you could see along here is this massive crack. Because where I live, there's a lot of water issues, and this garage has definitely taken a beating, and that's something that would have to get looked at and fixed for sure. See in the cinder block over here, there's also some pretty decent cracks. So a lot of stuff would have to get fixed. You can even see here some doors that's sticking up here. That looks like some mold, I don't know, so I don't really like being in here. It's definitely not the best spot, but if someone else could come in, make this structure usable, it could be a pretty good play. Roughly this apartment, if I could get a 1 bedroom, would rent for about $1,400, $1,500 a month in this specific location. I live in a really good location in the Durham area, very close to the university as well as a bunch of the hospitals. And another reason why I mentioned the hospitals is because you could potentially rent it out to traveling nurses and do something like Furnished Finder, where you could probably get a little bit more money because we're just a short drive down the street from all of those hospitals, so it would be a really great location for those traveling nurses. And I'm already starting to sweat pretty bad, so I want to hurry this up. It's like 100% humidity outside and really hot. Try not to be outside too much during the summer in North Carolina because it's kind of disgusting in my opinion. People really like it though. Anyway, the determination is, should I be spending all this money? Essentially, how I would fund it is I would take out a home equity line of credit against the main house, which would get me the $100,000 to $120,000 that I would need. I could probably get like a $130,000, $150,000 home equity line of credit, depending on how they appraise the actual property and the bank that I go with. Some do 100% of loan to value for your house, meaning they would give you up to the exact cost of your house and the difference between your loan and home equity line. Some do 90%, some do 80%, so it really just depends on the bank that you talk to. But it would be a really big project. There'd be a lot of construction going on right next to my house. Be kind of loud, be kind of annoying. And I don't know if I want to own this house for that long and keep onto it as a rental, even though it's in an awesome location. I go back and forth on it a lot. There's a lot of water issues, there's a lot of landscaping maintenance issues, things that would happen. So it could be a good play, it might not be a good play, and I'm actually just making this video to really see what people in the comments might think, and if it's something that you would actually do, or if you think there'd probably be a better opportunity to take that money and do something different with it. That's kind of what I've been thinking, that I could take that $115,000, $150,000 of equity that I have in the property and go buy something better. The other thing that's interesting to note is on the other side of that wall is one neighbor's yard, and then on the other side of this wall is another neighbor's driveway. So for the roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, probably 6 months that it would take to build this thing, my neighbors would hopefully not hate me, but there'd be a lot of construction going right around their area, all up in their face. So we'll see if I can even do that. I also live in a historical district, so there'd have to be a hearing all about keeping the property in the same look and feel. There's like very small amount of historical districts in Durham, but the couple of blocks that I live in is part of one, so that can add some issues to zoning. Have to get site plans, surveys, all of that good stuff. So it'd be a good foray into figuring out the development world, which is something that I'm very interested in, but could be a lot for maybe not the best outcome. Cash on cash return could be pretty good, but I don't know. Maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not. Okay, so now I'm back in my kitchen. It's a much more desirable temperature, but I want to hear from you guys. Put in the comments below if it's something that you think you would do or a good project to go after, or maybe the opportunity cost isn't worth it and you could put your money elsewhere. And if you guys enjoyed that video and you want to learn more about investing in real estate, as well as personal finance, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I try to make weekly videos as well as a bunch of videos on TikTok and Instagram where you can learn about buying your first real estate investment and how you can build your wealth. That's what I'm all about. And also please like the video and you can hit the notification bell so you get notified when I make videos like this. So thanks again for watching, and more wealth is coming your way.